In today's video, we'll explore the fascinating history behind the 2010 South African 10-cent coin, a small yet symbolic piece of the nation's rich numismatic legacy. This bronze-plated steel coin may seem ordinary at first glance, but it carries decades of heritage, design evolution, and national pride within its polished surface. Let's take a closer look at what makes the 2010 10-cent coin such an interesting collectible and how it reflects South Africa's journey as a nation. The South African 10-cent coin is part of the Rand currency system, which was first introduced on February 14, 1961, when South Africa transitioned from the old British-based pound system to the decimal Rand system. The Rand, symbolized as R, was divided into 100 cents, giving rise to coins such as the 1C, 2C, 5C, 10C, 20C, and 50C denominations. By 2010, the 10-cent coin had already undergone several design changes and metal composition updates. Earlier versions, particularly those from the 1960s and 1970s, were made of bronze. However, as metal costs rose and technology improved, the South African Mint began using bronze-plated steel, a more cost-effective and durable material. This shift reflected both economic practicality and the government's focus on sustainability. Now, let's talk about the design. One of the coin's most distinctive features, the obverse side, or the front, of the 2010 10-cent coin proudly features the South African coat of arms. This emblem represents unity, progress, and the nation's diverse cultural heritage. It includes a rising sun, secretary bird, ears of wheat, elephant tusks, and the motto, Ku-E/Zera///Ku, written in the Khoisan language of the /XAM people. The phrase translates to, diverse people unite. Above the coat of arms, you'll find the country's name, South Africa, written in one of the country's 11 official languages. Each year, the South African Mint alternates the language, celebrating the nation's linguistic diversity. For the 2010 coin, it may appear as Suid-Afrika, South Africa, or another translation depending on the version struck that year. Turning to the reverse side, you'll see the Arum lily, a graceful flower native to South Africa and a long-standing symbol of purity and beauty. The flower design has appeared on the 10-cent coin since 1965, making it one of the longest-running coin motifs in South African history. Below the flower is the denomination mark, 10C, indicating its face value. The 10-cent coin measures 16 mm in diameter and weighs approximately 1.5 grams. Although small, it plays a big role in daily transactions and reflects how the country values even the smallest units of currency. When it comes to collectability, the 2010 10-cent coin isn't considered rare in circulation, but pristine uncirculated or proof versions can hold higher value among collectors. Coins that show no signs of wear, retain full luster, or come from mint sets may sell for a few dollars internationally. Over time, as more of these coins disappear from everyday use, their value is expected to rise slightly among numismatists who collect modern South African coins. Beyond its monetary worth, the coin carries cultural and historical value. It represents South Africa's transition into a new era, post-apartheid democracy, unity, and pride in national identity. The coat of arms introduced in 2000 symbolizes the rebirth of the nation, and the 10-cent coin serves as a daily reminder of that spirit. So, the next time you come across a 2010 South African 10-cent coin, take a closer look. Behind that simple flower and shining metal lies a story of transformation, diversity, and national pride, a small coin with a big history. Next coin. The 10-cent coin from South Africa, dated 1988, is a small yet fascinating piece of the country's rich numismatic history. It represents a period of transformation in South Africa's economy, culture, and currency system. Though it may seem like a modest copper coin, it holds historical and collectible value that attracts coin enthusiasts from around the world. The 1988 South African 10-cent coin was part of the second decimal coin series introduced after South Africa adopted the decimal system in 1961. Prior to this, the nation used the South African pound, divided into shillings and pence. The switch to the Rand system brought new denominations and designs that reflected the nation's identity. 1 Rand was equivalent to 100 cents, and the 10-cent coin became one of the most common and widely used coins in circulation. The obverse of the 1988 10-cent coin features a portrait of State President P.W. Botha, who served as South Africa's leader during the apartheid era. Surrounding his portrait are the inscriptions Suid Africa and South Africa, representing both Afrikaans and English, the country's two main official languages at the time. This bilingual feature became a hallmark of South African coinage for many years. On the reverse side of the coin is a beautifully detailed image of the Arum lily, Xanthodeschia ethiopica, a native South African flower known for its elegant white petals and symbolic purity. The design was created by the talented artist L. S. Schmidt, whose initials, LS, can often be seen near the stem of the flower. This floral motif was meant to showcase South Africa's natural beauty and promote a sense of national pride through its native flora. In terms of specifications, the 1988 10-cent coin was minted in bronze-plated steel. Earlier versions were struck in pure bronze, but due to rising metal costs, the South African Mint began using steel cores coated with bronze to reduce production expenses. The coin weighs about 2 grams and measures 16 millimeters in diameter. Its small size made it a convenient denomination for everyday purchases like newspapers, sweets, or small goods in the late 1980s. The South African Mint in Pretoria produced millions of these coins, which means most 1988 10-cent coins are considered common in circulated condition. However, uncirculated or mint-state examples, especially those preserved in original shine, are more desirable among collectors. The coin's value depends heavily on its condition, rarity, and any minting errors that might make it unique. As of today, the 1988 South Africa 10-cent coin holds a modest collectible value. Circulated coins typically sell for around 10 cents to 50 cents USD, while uncirculated examples can fetch up to $2 to $5, depending on their grade. Coins graded by professional services or those with visible mint errors may reach higher values in the collector's market. Beyond its monetary value, the coin remains a symbol of South Africa's historical journey. The late 1980s were a time of political tension and social change, as the country was on the verge of ending apartheid. The coins minted during this period remind us of a society undergoing transformation, where even the smallest denominations carried traces of a complex past. Today, collectors and history enthusiasts alike treasure the 1988 10-cent coin not only for its design but also for the story it tells. It connects modern South Africans to their nation's economic and political evolution, showing how a simple piece of metal can serve as a lasting witness to history. Next coin. In the world of coin collecting, every piece of metal tells a story, and the 1993 South Africa 20-cent coin is no exception. This small copper coin carries with it a glimpse into the country's rich history, its changing identity, and the artistry that defines South African coinage. The 20-cent coin was first introduced in 1961, following South Africa's transition from the British Commonwealth to becoming a republic. It replaced the older 2-shilling coin as part of the move to a decimal currency system. By 1993, the 20-cent piece had already become a familiar sight in daily life, but that year's issue holds special significance. The 1993 edition came during a pivotal time in South African history, just before the country's first democratic elections in 1994. It was the final chapter of the old era, with coins still bearing the symbols and inscriptions used before the rise of the new South Africa. On the obverse, or front side, of the 1993 20-cent coin, you'll find the South African coat of arms. It features a detailed design with a shield divided into 4 sections, showing symbols of the nation's diverse heritage, including a lion, a pair of wildebeest, and a bundle of spears. Above the shield rests a crown and the national motto in Latin, Ex unitate vires, meaning, unity is strength. Encircling the design is the country's name, Suid Africa, and South Africa, representing both Afrikaans and English, the two official languages used on coins during that period. Turning the coin over to the reverse, you'll see the beautifully engraved image of a king protea, South Africa's national flower. The protea is a symbol of resilience and beauty, thriving even in difficult environments. It's a fitting emblem for the country's spirit, and its depiction on the 20-cent coin captures the essence of South Africa's natural charm. The engraving was designed by Arthur Lionel Cooley, whose initials, ALC, can be seen as a mint mark on the reverse side of the coin. Cooley was one of the talented engravers who contributed to the artistry of South African coinage, and his design for the protea remains one of the most recognizable and admired. The 1993 20-cent coin was minted primarily in bronze-plated steel, giving it a rich copper color with a metallic sheen. It weighs about 3.5 grams and measures 21 millimeters in diameter. Over time, these coins can darken slightly, developing a warm patina that gives each piece a unique character. For collectors, this coin isn't just about its metal value, it's about the era it represents. The 1993 issue stands at the crossroads of history, the final years of the apartheid era and the dawn of a democratic South Africa. Coins like this capture the transition between two worlds, and that's what makes them historically important. In terms of value, the 1993 20-cent coin is not considered extremely rare, but well-preserved examples, especially those in uncirculated or mint condition, can attract interest from collectors around the world. Coins showing sharp details and minimal wear often hold greater value, especially if the mint mark and protea design remain crisp. Today, many collectors seek out South African coins from the early 1990s as part of complete decimal series sets, appreciating both their artistic merit and historical meaning. The 1993 20-cent coin, with its ALC mint mark, sits proudly among them as a symbol of a nation on the edge of transformation.